Australia's most adorable animals are a global icon. Yet we know very little about them. And they need our help. Now a team of volunteers and scientists will lend a hand, using groundbreaking science and a little love, at the world's first koala hospital. Over 3 years, we follow the lives of Jimmy, Farida, Kaylee and Twinkles as the team comes to their rescue, giving them a second chance at life. This is Crescent Head Jimmy. He's about 6 months old. He was hit by a car and knocked unconscious.
Okay, dudes.
He's limping a little bit on that back leg.
Go on, dude. Go for a walk. Come on, over you come.
Unfortunately, his mother was killed, and Jimmy's now an orphan.
There's definitely something going on there, but he's putting weight on it, so that's good.
Yeah, he's probably just a bit sore, bruised.
Yeah, dude.
One good thing about these little blokes is they're very rubbery in the bones, so if they do fall or whatever, they sort of bounce well.
He suffered some trauma, but it seems like he'll be okay.
Oh, it's a hard life. 48 hours ago, this little creature had never really had any contact with human beings. And now here he is, just snuggled up as if this is the most ordinary and familiar thing and he's always done this. I don't know that any other wild animals really do that.
Here we are at the Koala Hospital in Port Macquarie, the oldest and the first koala hospital dedicated to the care of wild koalas in the world.
For almost 40 years, the Koala Hospital has been caring for sick and injured wild koalas. The goal is to save their lives and return them to the wild. Wildlife biologist Shane Flanagan is the hospital's supervisor. She leads a team of volunteers dedicated to helping koalas. I'm Amanda Gordon, one of the many volunteers here.
I love koalas. The fur is so soft and her claws are very sharp.
Our work has given us unusual insight into the surprising life of koalas. They're not what you think they are. They're a marsupial, not a bear, and they're completely unique. There's absolutely nothing else like them on the planet.
They're just adorable. It's hard not to love them. Over all other animals, I think these are simply the best.
Everybody who encounters the koala falls in love with the koala in one form or another, even the toughest soul bloke. It's the round-faced, the big fluffy ears, the large eyes that attract people innately to the koala. I think the most surprising thing is that they will so readily adapt to the idea of having humans around them.
Come on, Homer. Come on, Homer. That's a good boy. boy. He's got a good personality. He comes down when he feels like it. He's happy here, I think. It's like a 5-star hotel for him.
Here it comes. Yeah, Shane.
Not every koala is the same. Each one responds to us in a different way.
It actually tickles more than anything. Yeah, he's quite gentle. Yeah. I've got a growth on my leg, doctor.
The stereotype image of the sort of dopey koala up a tree is just misleading. They interact in a complex way.
That's koala communication. That's how they communicate with each other. I'll tell you what, it's much better that koalas sniff noses rather than what dogs do, because I'm sure I'm not going to be communicating if... Don't you reckon?
They nose kiss and also communicate using strange sounds. Males often bellow during the breeding season. It sounds like a motorbike. They don't sound anything like you'd expect. And we've discovered other curious things too. What looks like a human fingerprint actually belongs to a koala. Why they've adapted with fingerprints is a mystery, and also how they're able to eat poisonous eucalyptus leaves.
We get fresh leaf every morning for the koalas. But this is lovely leaf, this is beautiful. If I was a koala, I'd love this.
Koalas can digest the toxic chemicals in the leaf, but to cope with the low nutrition in their food, they sleep for 18 hours a day to conserve energy.
They're supposed to stay in that tree? Ah, you were naughty dear.
In the wild, the leaves give them all the nutrients and water moisture they need. But while in care, we supplement their leaf diet with a marsupial milk formula for extra nutrition.
Can you do?
In an expanding human world, their search for their specialised food can be hazardous.
I love the koalas, and I can see that they're in dire straits. They need help.
It's sad that there's a need for a koala hospital at all. But as the forest disappears for our needs, koalas are becoming urban refugees. Like Jimmy, who's recovering from the trauma of his car accident.
You had enough? Okay, that's very good, Jimmy.
He's just one of the many thousands of koalas that have been admitted as patients here. We treat koalas from across Australia. To keep track of them all, we name them after the place they're found, so we know where they came from and where to put them back when they're ready to go home again.
So do you want to give him some oral? Sure. This is Riverside Angus from the North Shore over the river, and he's been attacked by a dog, one of the many. He copped quite a nasty injury to the hindquarters.
Smaller ones, but that was the real deep one.
He's a young lad, he's a pimply teenager with attitude. He's had enough of the room service. He's just, you know, will the staff leave? A man needs to have a snooze.
Their problems are as diverse as their distinct personalities. Disease, car accidents and dog attacks are the main koala killers nationwide, and the reason for most admissions.
We've been really busy the last few weeks, really busy. Hello? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll send a couple of bodies out and I'll have a look.
Shane often takes the hospital on the road, travelling all over koala country to help animals in need. Port Macquarie lies on the east coast of Australia, which is the koala's prime habitat. This may seem like a wildlife paradise, but looks can be deceiving.
Koalas are in such a terrible state across the country because where the koalas want to live is where people want to live. This was all good koala habitat and it was all pulled out for this resort. They promoted themselves all over the world as being a koala-friendly resort. They pulled all the trees out and then built the resort, and then they called themselves koala-friendly. What a joke.
As the human population in this area has increased, the koala population has rapidly decreased.
I've seen several koalas at several different zoos around Australia, but never ever in the wild.
I don't think there's enough trees around here for them to survive on.
Yeah, it's sad, obviously. I don't know what else to do about it. I don't have a lot to do with koalas. It doesn't, you know.
It's just that the koalas are, I suppose it's like a national symbol.
Koalas are now confronted by a maze of roads and urban mayhem.
The koala's up there.
Where?
With fewer places to live, they're winding up in people's backyards.
I heard a ruckus. My dogs were going off their brain and these dogs were going to come out to see what it was, and he's just sitting here.
People call the hospital if they see a koala in trouble.
Peter and I'll try to run it down.
Yep.
You might have to come over sort of this side. You'll have the fine art of koala catching.
Staff are on 24-hour call to rescue animals from dangerous situations.
One koala. Well done.
Good on you, Hash.
He's gorgeous. He's sick, isn't he?
Yeah. See how brown he is?
Yeah.
That means he's not eating properly.
Oh, poor little bugger.
In many cases, we need to bring them into the hospital to find out what's wrong. Koala medicine is a new field, and diagnosing them can be difficult. One of our tools for koala diagnostics is smell. When koalas are sick, their fur can be a little bit brown, and when you smell them between the ears, they can smell quite musty. When they're healthy, they smell sweet like eucalyptus.
He smells beautiful. He's got it's a male smell, but it's also a very pungent, strong eucalypt smell.
With some animals, the prognosis is more complicated. Kaylee was found on the road and may have been hit by a car. Her leg injury is making it hard for her to nurse her Joey Twinkles. We take Kaylee to see our partners at the local vet, who have advanced medical facilities for koala diagnostics.
Oh, hello. Hello, little one. That's pretty.
We need to find out what the problem is. But first, we need to reduce the swelling.
Opening it up, flushing it, and then antibiotics.
Joeys normally stay with their mothers until they're around 18 months old. Twinkles is not quite ready to be on her own. She's just too young to fend for herself.
We can actually feel that there is some laxity in that joint there. So what we'll do is we'll take her through and take some x-rays. Just grab the dog for me.
tendons that normally and the ligaments that normally hold this knee in place, I think, aren't really working the way they should do.
If we can't fix Kaylee's leg, we'll have to make some difficult decisions.
We don't really know what this koala's future is going to be, whether it's surgically fixable. Worst case scenario, this little fella is pretty big, but could probably then go into home care for the last phase of growing up.
From this x-ray we can tell that there's been, some fairly large traumatic incident that's occurred, that should be sitting right down here. I don't know if we can fix this one or not. She's a beautiful girl. It would be a real shame if there's nothing that can be done.
If there's not much we can do and it isn't going to heal and she's in terrible pain, might have to be plan B, which is put the mother to sleep if we can't do anything about that leg. She can't live like that. The pain would be horrible.
While Kaylee's future is looking uncertain, Jimmy's future is looking brighter. He lost his real koala mum, but now a human mum has adopted him.
In the basket, Jim. You just get out of the water, silly boy.
Young Joeys need constant attention. Barbara Barrett, one of our experienced Joey carers, is taking Jimmy into home care.
Okay, mate.
Just like caring for a human baby, Joey care involves sleepless nights and feeding every few hours.
Some of them that you get, it takes a little while for them to take to the taste of the formula, but not this little fellow. He wanted it from the word go.
Over many months, Barbara will nurture Jimmy until he's able to look after himself.
We've just rehydrated him, given him a lot of fluid, and now it looks like he's going to be all right.
In the wild, he must be strong enough to face immense challenges. Few of those challenges are as daunting as climate change. Warmer temperatures are causing the world's forests to dry out. In recent years, Australian forests have been hit by waves of extreme heat and drought. Koalas are responding to these changes in unusual ways.
The images we got of the koalas drinking water from water bottles in the middle of highways, of koalas sitting in buckets of water in people's yards during the heatwave conditions are signs that the populations of koalas in those areas are suffering a catastrophe.
Their odd behaviour is a warning. Things are about to get much worse.
Good evening. The death toll continues to rise in the wake of Australia's worst bushfire disaster.
Australia has seen massive forest areas destroyed by infernos. Large-scale fires are now becoming frequent in many countries. In this fire, hundreds of people died, and many lost their homes. The damage to wildlife was devastating.
Come here, mate. Hey, you all right, buddy? Hey, I just fell. Yeah, I just fell.
Over the past few years, the hospital team have become expert at search and rescue missions across the country to save koalas from their burning forest homes.
We've actually snuck a lift on a pickup truck, on a red pickup truck, so you might see us coming up. You'll probably see Shane's head poking up over the top.
Where is he? It looks like Hiroshima. It looks like an atomic bomb.
We're doing this area of forest today, doing a search. We're going to form a fire line. We've got a lot of people. It'll be a nice long line and just work our way systematically through the forest. See if we can find any burnt wildlife.
These fires were so hot, much of the forest vanished in the flames, and many koalas went along with it.
Amanda! Another koala. Can you just call it in?
We've got a dead koala from the fire.
Koalas tend to react to danger by moving high up into the tree canopy and curling up into a little ball. In the case of fire, this can sometimes save their lives. We look for animals that may still be alive in the areas that are not completely burnt.
Number 1.
We found a mother and joey in a bad location.
Sue found a koala with a joey up that tree just there, and we're just bringing in the poles to see if we can get them down and have a look at them and put them in an area where there's greener vegetation for them to eat.
Okay. So you have to get in there.
Stay back.
Amanda, grab. Got it. Shit, hang on, I got it, but I need some help. Bloody hell!
Yeah, well done. He's in the basket now. Shane's got the joey in her overalls. Yeah, it all just sort of happened at once.
It's really little. Yeah, I know, here he is. Want to whack her over there? There's some nice trees.
This mother and baby were lucky. They're not burnt and only needed relocation.
Hang on, little fella. Hang on like grim death there, son.
Other survivors are taken in for burns treatment. A vet clinic near the fire grounds set up a temporary emergency room for koala triage.
Well, no, there they are. There's Helen still there.
That's all right, I've got him.
The fire raced over these koalas, burning their faces and feet. Burnt feet make it impossible for the koalas to climb trees and find food. The treatment is exactly the same as it is for human burns. Antibiotic cream and daily bandage changes until the skin repairs itself and they're able to climb again. The healing process takes many months. The sad fact is that some of the koalas do not survive their ordeal.
This is what happens. They suffer just as much as people. And there'll be many more to come in yet.
Following initial treatments, the animals are transferred to a local wildlife shelter. It's best for the koalas to stay close to their home range near the firegrounds, as they live in established communities with their own unique social groups.
Get you out in the bush in no time, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
After their long-term rehabilitation, the koalas will be released back into the wild.
No. Make it all better. Make it all better.
Fires are an ongoing concern that we now have to deal with regularly at the hospital. But it's just one part of a much larger problem. Habitat loss is the central issue. Each koala is affected differently.
This little koala, her name is Seaview Farida. She came from only a few streets away, and she was attacked by a dog. She was virtually almost degloved, where the whole skin surface was pulled right off. Her hand was so badly mauled that the ends of the digits had to be surgically removed, and that's where all the tendons were exposed, and you can see the drag marks of the teeth. Normally you would do physiotherapy to try and manipulate those fingers, but as you can see, she's not exactly people friendly. That is go away in koala speak.
On the other hand, orphan Jimmy and his adopted mum Barbara are getting along great.
He was kind of leaning to the left a little bit for a week or more, till the bruising got a little better. And then he hasn't looked back since then. He's just been gaining weight.
He seems quite content in Barbara's loving care.
What he does out here overnight, I don't know, but there's plenty of mess to clean up the next morning. So he has a bit of a party, I think.
As Jimmy gets bigger and puts on weight, he's becoming more independent.
He comes in every night about 7:30. He scratches at the door and I let him inside there, and he plays with the dog's toys.
They're all different. They're all different. This one's very cheeky.
He is the only male joey that I've ever reared that will put his head up and try and bellow like a big male joey. And he has this, it's a little tiny bellow. So I think he's going to be a big alpha male when he gets out there.
Hopefully, these are his first steps on a unique journey back to the wild. Back at the hospital, Shane checks in on Twinkles and Kaylee.
She's very unsteady with this leg of hers, and we're very worried that she's going to fall. So what we're going to do is just take these cross beams out.
Yeah.
Under.
Push, no, there. Just push it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, see how that fits, Shay?
Try that. We're going to have to try it, yeah.
I'll have to try it again. Okay.
She's really distressed. She just wants to get out of here. The more we try to control her to keep her in one place, the more distress she's getting. It's horrible watching an animal in pain and distress trying to get out. But with that leg, she's going nowhere.
I take Twinkles inside to give Kaylee a break. We're trying to decide now whether to separate them.
She's grinding her teeth a little bit, which means that she's scared.
The mother will probably have to be put to sleep. There is the option of amputating the leg, and if that was the case, she'd have to be here in permanent care. She says, "Oh no, the brat's back." I mean, it's much better that they're together, but if it's going to cause her pain. So this is just a trial. We'll try it overnight and see how it goes.
The next day, we make a tough choice.
And I came in and she had blood all over her face where she'd been biting at her knee. That it was so painful. And I just rang Chris up and said, today, we got to do this today. We actually separated Twinkles, the Joey, and put the little fella in the Joey yard with the others. The anaesthetic was perfect. The surgery was all over in a flash. She had no infection. Went off beautifully. Next day she was up in the gunya eating, good as gold. It's a wonderful success story.
The more we learn about koalas, the more success we can have. But there's still so much we don't know. They're mysterious animals. Ecologist Alastair Melzer and his team of researchers study koalas in their natural environment to get answers.
Koalas have been in the Australian bush for millions of years, but our surviving modern koala is adapted to live in a wide range of habitats.
This research is vital to our work at the hospital, increasing our understanding of koalas in the wild.
So we're probably within about 80 metres of that koala. So we're now going to walk in the direction that the antenna is pointing, which is uphill towards the top of the rainforest gully.
They track their movements using GPS collars, identifying the koala's home range and how they're using the landscape.
And a very strong signal, so the koala was within 10 metres of us. And when we look up into that tree, you can see the ball of fur. And we'll see if we can do a catch.
It'll be interesting to see the data that we get from him.
It was generally thought that koalas only need eucalyptus trees to survive. But the scientists have found they're actually using the entire forest in unexpected ways.
The GPS collars give us data that says they wander much further than we previously believed. We see animals spacing themselves out across the landscape so as best to use the resources that are available.
Yeah, that was a distress call. We think it's a distress call anyway.
By recording and examining their various calls, they've cracked the code of koala language. Individuals seem to have their own distinct calls, using complex frequencies to serenade other koalas. What the scientists are learning about koala behaviour at this study site could help explain why they're disappearing in many other parts of Australia.
There's so little known about them. We really need to understand a lot about them to ensure their conservation.
Scientific research is key to understanding how we can plan for koalas into the future. Australia's not doing a very good job at protecting koalas right now.
What we're seeing now is the local extinctions occurring. Right, so the lights are going out one by one, from fire, from loss of habitat, from drought, from disease, from the impact of urbanisation. The mortality associated with dogs, with cars, swimming pools, all the things that are part of modern human life are fairly deadly to koalas. The importance of looking after individual animals that have been displaced or animals that have been sick or injured from those areas, rehabilitating those and returning them to those habitats becomes more important.
Last night there was a fair bit of noise. We get up this morning and she's at the base of the tree and she's not moving.
Come on, sweetheart. There we go. Okay. Up. That's all right, sweetheart. There we go.
Poor little thing.
She's very light as well. Much weight there.
Because of urban expansion into wild areas, the hospital is growing every year. It's looking more and more like a koala refugee camp. Jimmy is finally ready to join other survivors for wildlife rehabilitation.
Come, Jim. Come on, my boy. Before we can put him in the yard, he's got to be ear tagged and microchipped. That's the boy.
Well, I don't know.
2610. Jimmy, what a big fat boy. Okay, now Auntie Shane's gonna tag you and chip you. No, Bubby's not gonna do it. No.
Here you go, dude.
Wanna sit down there, Jim? So he's gonna have an ear tag in with a number on it and a microchip. Okay, Shane, do your stuff.
So, because he's a boy, we're going to tag him in the left ear. Females are tagged in the right ear because females are always right.
Yeah, you bite me if you want to.
Don't want damaging his beautiful new...
No, he's got lovely ears, hasn't he? Boy.
Each animal is tagged and chipped for easy identification and population database records.
Yeah, Jim. Jimmy, be still.
So he's getting a bit of bling.
There we are, a nice earring. It's painless, Jimmy. I never felt a thing. I never felt a thing, darlings. Come on. That's my boy. Okay.
He's a big dude.
He's going to be an alpha male, I've told you that.
Brad Pitt, eat your heart out.
Oh, he's going to be a lady killer, aren't you, Jimmy? Okay, we're ready to rock and roll.
To assess whether Jimmy is ready for the big wide world, he needs to spend a few months with other koalas at the hospital. If he can't adapt to life in the trees here, he cannot be returned to the wild.
And hopefully he'll race up the top of the tree, and that's where he'll live. He doesn't get any more milk formula. And
no more cuddles.
No more cuddles. It's a big tree. Oh, no, not, you can't go that way. You're going the wrong way. Here, look, here. Here, oops. There he goes. I think he is.
We ignored you. Jimmy has left the building.
We have left off.
Good boy, Jimmy. Oh, he's going to race up now. Look how high he's going. Good boy. Woo-woo, that's enough. He's never had a tree before. Woo! Oh dear, Jimmy! Oh, I gotta go. I can't watch this.
Gonna jump.
Don't jump! Oh, Jimmy! Oh, my God.
While Jimmy is new to life in the outdoor yards, his next-door neighbour is a veteran. At 25, Birthday Girl is possibly the world's oldest koala. She was named Birthday Girl because she was found at a kids' party near the birthday cake.
She's a matriarch. She's an old lady that's made it to this unbelievably old age. And we think the only reason Birthday Girl's really still here is because of the royal treatment she's getting.
She has arthritis, which is one of the many diseases koalas get. The most deadly disease we see here is chlamydia. Half of the patients are admitted because of this condition. The obvious clinical signs are large brown stains on the bottom or blinding eye infections. It can be fatal if left untreated. Ultrasounds can reveal serious internal problems.
There's multiple cysts. If the chlamydia is an advanced case and it's beyond being treated, it's kinder to put the koala to sleep.
New scientific research indicates chlamydia is a stress-related disease associated with habitat loss. We're working with scientists across Australia towards finding cures for koala diseases.
In some populations, it appears that the koalas are able to cope with it a lot better than in other populations where we see a very high prevalence of disease. And a lot of the work that we're doing here is to try to work out why that is, whether it's to do with different strains of chlamydia in different populations or whether it's to do with the stresses that animals in those populations are under.
There's been an increase in the occurrence of disease in koalas as well as they get stressed by their altered habitat and loss of habitat. There's a concerted effort now to understand the complications that may occur. I'm still confident that we might be able to get the balance back.
We can, with some drugs, if the disease isn't bad, arrest it so they sort of go in like a remission.
Eye surgery techniques developed at the hospital allows a koala blinded by chlamydia to see again within a few days. There's no cure as yet, but using these tools, we've had some success with treating the symptoms of chlamydia if it's caught in its early stages. Advances in medical science are helping many koalas. Kaylee's a good example of that. Her leg amputation was a first for the hospital.
We've never done it before, and I don't believe it's been done anywhere else. She has done so well, we're actually considering releasing her. She just leaps all over the tree. She's compensated with that loss of leg so well. Now she's scratching the stump.
Perhaps Kaylee will be able to join her baby Twinkles, who has already been released into the bush. Today, another group of koalas are being set free, including grumpy Farida. Her new home is in a conservation area, an hour's drive from Port Macquarie. It's far away from pet dogs and roads, so hopefully she'll never be admitted into hospital again.
We're heading down to the release site for these koalas where they're going to be held for about 7 to 10 days before they're actually set at liberty. It's way off the main roads, it's quite isolated, it's a really good area. Hopefully this is going to work.
Farida has been in hospital for almost a year, healing her wounds after the dog attack.
We're actually taking the koala to its release tree, around which we have constructed a fence, which we hope will hold it in there for several days, and then we're going to take the fence away.
Although Farida's hand is damaged, it isn't affecting her functions, and we expect her to do well here.
Now this will test your hand. See? You going to do it? You better. Oh, look at her, she's doing it. It's not bad, is it? There's absolutely nothing on the end of those two. Wow. That's pretty darn good. I'm trying to get up, but yep, did it. Good-o.
Shane and the team track the koalas over the next 6 months to see how they're adapting to life there.
We're just going to go and find Oxley Twinkles, who's the joey of our koala that had a leg amputated, who hopefully we might bring her down here too. That's on 2.5. The needle in a haystack.
Right at the top there.
Yeah.
A blob. Yeah.
Twinkles is doing well and venturing further each day. She'll soon establish a home range and maybe start a family of her own. Our hope is that this area will be a koala haven for future generations.
There are opportunities for koalas because they're really the easiest animal in the world to conserve. We can live with them, we just have to account for them. You largely need to have the right food trees in the right place. Where people take special care, then you can have koalas living successfully alongside you.
At the moment, all we're seeing is trees being cut down. So these animals have to travel further and further to find food, and subsequently being knocked down by cars.
Human developments have radically altered koala habitat. It's hard to know exactly how many koalas there are in the wild, but the Australian Koala Foundation, who track the population, estimate the number could have fallen to as low as around 40,000 koalas. Alarmed by the drastic decline, protesters take to the streets.
We are here today to send a really clear message to the state government that they need to do more to protect koalas.
25,000 in the last 10 years. It can't go on.
We have to do something now. They've got to be gone.
No tree, no need, save the koalas. No tree, no need, save the koalas.
Koala, koala, we love you.
Well, people love koalas, but we don't know how to love them.
Koala, koala, where do you go when we take your gum tree away?
We're here to stand up for the animals that can't stand up for themselves. And we're looking forward to getting back to our trees.
We would like to see the day when the Koala Hospital has to shut up shop because all the animals out there are healthy and doing really well. That would be a great thing.
There we are. There we are. We're going to release Jimmy today. Out into the wild again. Out in town. Good boy.
After a long and uncertain road to recovery, Jimmy passes all the tests in his final checkup.
Oh, look at that for good muscle tone. Excellent body condition.
No, Jimmy.
Chuck him in.
You ready?
Yeah.
We ready? Come on.
Hang on, I'll lift this up here. Better. In you go, dude.
Koalas, they used to be everywhere.
Right, we're ready.
A walk in the bush could be heaven. Bring the dream time back to me.
We're going to put a fence around the tree, and the whole idea being is to get Jimmy used to this tree. Jude might have to come out that side because of the, yeah.
We weren't too confident about his recovery, but anyhow I took him home and he soon recovered. He made good progress. And now, today, he weighs enough, he's big enough, and so we've brought him here to this absolutely lovely spot. We're going to release Jimmy now.
Okay.
We ready?
Drum roll, people.
Everybody got their cameras? Come on, Jimmy. You're going to absolutely love this tree, my boy. Put your head up to it. Oh, a tree! Oh, what a great tree, Jimmy. Oh, now
go, dude, go.
Go, Jim.
Isn't he handsome?
He's handsome, all right. Jimmy! Jimmy!
All these people are looking at me.
Good boy. All I need to do now is come and live here so I can keep an eye on him.
Jimmy is one small koala in a very big world, with many challenges ahead of him. But today, he's a success story for a little hospital making a difference. One koala at a time.
One doctor on the job is hardly enough. One little hospital, wake up Australia, it's our corner of the world. Time to pull our weight. What would we tell our children about our little